And I was not in the Latin culture. I just had Latin friends. I had Spanish friends. So they invited me one time. They were like, John, you got to come see this lady. She'll tell you your future. And I was with it. I at the time, I wanted to be a famous rapper. So even though I was borderline atheist, I wanted to know my future. I wanted somebody to tell me I'm gonna be a famous rapper. That's pretty much what I wanted to know. I didn't want to know my actual future. I wanted to know the future that I wanted to happen, right? So I went to this event, and it was so crazy. I walked in there, and there was music playing. It was people were drinking beer, smoking cigars, and it just seemed like a party to me. And I'm like, oh, it's pretty cool. I never been to a psychic like this. Like, that's what I thought that this was a psychic. This lady's going to tell us our future, right? So it's like a whole bunch of times going by, and there's also other things too that were a little off. It wasn't just like a party. There was candles lit. There was like an altar set up. There was just picture any weird like voodoo seance movie that you've ever seen. It kind of looked like that, except a little less creepy, because it was just regular people. Nobody was dressed crazy. Nobody was like, there's nobody tweaking out or anything. Everybody's just hanging out, drinking beer, smoking cigars. I'm like, oh, it's pretty legit. This is the most fun psychic I've ever been to. Not like I have a whole run of psychics, but I've been to a couple of them. And so anyway, things kind of shifted as it got later. And this woman that I actually knew, but I didn't know that she was the woman that was going to, quote unquote, tell us our future. She goes into this trance, and it's almost like she got possessed, which she did, but I'm trying to filter this through the lens of me first seeing it, right? So I'm watching this go on, and she completely changes who she is as a person and starts acting crazy, right? Not crazy as in like scary crazy, but just crazy for her. She was a completely different person. And now she's drinking and smoking cigars. And one thing that I noticed is she had a sash or a bandana, and it was like silk kind of, right? And when she changed into whatever she changed into, she took one of the sashes and kind of put it around herself. And so what I didn't realize at the time was I was witnessing her channeling whatever spirit this is. And what they would tell us is that these are the saints, like Saint Michael, Saint John, Saint Lazarus, like all of these different saints. And so that's what they would tell you that this woman is turning into. She's being possessed by these saints, so that way she can tell us how to fix our lives. Not her telling us, but the saints telling us how to fix our lives and how to, what's going to happen to you in the future and all of these different things. So I'm watching it, and I'm just like, man, this is some trippy stuff. Like, I'm like an outsider looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, this is bugged out, but whatever. I'm just waiting to get to the point where they start telling your fortunes, because I just want to know my future. So then she changes sashes, and she turns into another person, a completely different personality, right? And I'm like, what is going on here? So you got to understand, man, I got zero spiritual discernment when all of this is going on. I'm just watching it as like, a borderline atheist, agnostic. The most that I really believed about the spiritual realm was that people could tell me your future and maybe ghosts exist, because I would watch, the things on TV, those scary TV shows where they, the house is haunted or whatever. And then they got to do a seance to get rid of it. So anyway, I was into that stuff. So this happens multiple times. She changes to a different person, changes to a different person, changes to a different person. Finally, she goes around and starts asking people, starts talking to people. So I'm like, oh, I guess this is it. This is the part where she starts telling people their future. And she'll tell people things and then go back into her trance and switch into somebody else, and then go tell some other people some things. And then go back.
One question I have right now is, while this was happening, what was everyone else doing? Was everyone else still drinking it up and smoking, or were they actually?
They were chilling. I'm like, what? So the fact that they were also comfortable made me comfortable.
Okay.
Plus I knew about half of the room. So that, that put me at ease. We've done some way crazier things than what was going on in front of me. This was just a different type of crazy. So I was more just like tripped out by it. I'm watching it like, this is some wild stuff, right? And so anyway, she finally gets to me and she starts talking to me in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I'm much better now because I live in Puerto Rico, but at that time, no hablo español, right? So she starts talking to me and then my friend is translating it. And the first bugged out thing was I would respond after my friend would translate. I would respond and answer the question that she asked me or respond to whatever she was saying. And this woman would just start talking again, essentially answering my question or responding to what I was saying. And I knew that this woman didn't speak English. So here I am answering in English. She's not waiting for the translator and she's answering me. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty bugged out. And it's not like maybe she knew English. No, I know that this woman did not know English.
You said you kind of knew her outside of this event, right?
Yep. So I don't want to get into who she is because I don't want to throw, I don't want to, just in case somebody who knows her or somebody who knows her, hears about this. These are conversations that I like to directly have with people. But anyway, so she starts now telling me about things and she started speaking about some things that happened to me in the past that I never told anybody. Right. So I'm like, now it's really hitting me. I'm like, oh, this is legit. This isn't just some weird stuff that I'm experiencing. Whatever is going on here is real because I've never told anybody this. Then she also spoke about so my father's father passed away when my father was 11. Right. And she told me that this man, my father's father, has been following me my whole entire life, watching over me essentially, right? And I'm like, how does this lady know that my father's father is dead? She knew things about my life that nobody could have possibly known. There was no like quick Google search you could do on me or anything. So that got me to the point that I was like, okay, this is legit. And then she told me about my future and she told me what I wanted to hear. She's like, oh, I know you want to be on stages. I know you want to do music. I know you want to be famous. I know all of this and we can make that happen for you. It's a single person saying we can make that happen for you. And I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do it. How do we make this happen?
You were instantly sold on it. Like there was no red flags whatsoever.
I didn't care. You got to understand. So here's a little background of me. At the time, I was doing drugs, selling drugs. People who invited me were gang members. So these were people that I was in the streets with as well. Like this was a period of my life where I didn't care about anything.